Welcome to the second video in our series about random tidbits we come across in our daily lives living in Tokyo, Japan. I have no idea. I love bananas. I'm not super big on banana flavored stuff, but I do just love bananas in general so much that even banana flavored stuff is sort of okay in my book. And what we have here is some haichu. And I think haichu is trash as well, the haichu. We've already emptied the haichu, to be honest. I think haichu is something that you can get kind of worldwide now, or at least I know it exists in the States, but you don't normally see the exotic flavors. And this is the first time we'd come across the banana flavored one, so I thought we'd give them a go. And I'm kind of curious, do they taste like real bananas, or do they taste like bananas from before bananas went extinct or whatever, and that's what they base banana flavored candies on? And if you aren't familiar with the haichu, it is just a little, not a gummy exactly, it's like a chewy, yeah. And they just come in these little guys here. It's kind of like a really soft starburst, I guess would be a good way to say. And you can see, like, I can squish it with my fingers pretty simply. I guess easily is a better word than simply in that case. Compress the banana flavor. It just tastes like what bananas don't actually taste like, but what the candy always tastes like.
I love that banana flavor stopped you dead in your sentence. You're like on a trajectory in the banana.
And it's pretty sweet. There's a little bit of like tang, I guess is what I would say. And as goes with all haichus, it's basically pretty good. That's just what the haichu game is. And the other thing that I have here, and we're having fika right now if you're curious, is I have this Coca-Cola. I saw this last night, got kind of excited because I was like, I don't think this exists anyplace else. This is some like looking like Japan level stuff. And I asked on Instagram, and I didn't realize you could do this, but you can make polls. And of course my phone wants my password. I think the haichu like made my finger, like you couldn't read my fingerprint. So I asked on Instagram, do they have this where you're from?
Oh, it's hard to see.
Oh, is it hard to see?
Yeah, it is really washed out. Wow. Can't see a goddamn thing.
It's a picture of the bottle. It's not a big deal. But you can put a poll on there that says, do you have this in your country? Because if you don't have, if everybody was like, oh, we've got this in our country, then I wouldn't talk about it. But now I realize I have a metric to figure out, is it where you're at? And I got just over 380 votes, and 379 people said no. So I'm betting the 6 people who said yes live in Japan. So this like kind of kicks back to me to like Crystal Pepsi, that kind of deal. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, clear lime Coca-Cola? Is this just Sprite? So that's all they've done is they put Sprite into a bottle and got 150 yen. It's probably gonna taste like bananas at the moment. It doesn't really taste like anything.
They just sold you water.
It smells like cinnamon. I think the haichu before this might have been a bad idea.
Alright, hand it over. I haven't screwed up by haichuing before this. Oh yeah, that cinnamon is fantastic. It's great.
Wait, did you say great?
It's great.
Oh, the tea? I didn't know you said great with a
It's
P.
great at the beginning of the flavor. Like, it's really sweet. It's really exciting. You feel that lime, but then it falls very quickly. And it just ends up feeling like what's left in the Coke machine when they run out of the sweet stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like just the water?
Just,
the carbonated water?
Just carbonated
water. You know
water.
they do that? They want you to keep hitting that thing and then getting another one and getting another one. They got you hooked.
I took another sip.
This certainly doesn't just apply to living in Japan, but more of just being alive, and as you get older, sometimes you become more cognizant of what's around you, or you get used to all the things that are on the surface and really noticeable, and then start to find the things that are a little bit deeper. And with me, I'm not a flower person at all, but for some reason this year, these specific flowers have been in bloom, and I have really just been taken aback by them. And I think it's the first time that I've ever been taken aback by a flower that didn't have like something crazy about it, like a strong smell or something. These are just pretty, and they're called ajisai. I have no idea what that is in English, but they are in bloom here in Japan in the early summer for what seems to be almost a month. And what I love about them is they're these little balls and bundles of flowers, and they come in a variety of colors, in a variety of shapes, and they pop up all over the place. Like every time you go into a park, you're like, oh, there's the ajisai, there's more of them. And it's wonderful seeing them. And you have these purples, and you have these blues, and you have whites, and the leaves have got different shapes. And I think they're all still ajisai, but maybe I'm looking at a bunch of different flowers. But regardless, I'm really liking flowers this year. And even sometimes you'd be really lucky and you'll find some that the single bundle is a variety of colors. It's like a gradient almost. I think they're about to leave being in bloom because I can see some of them are looking a little rough, but I kind of am excited to see them again next year. That's not an ice cream truck, y'all. That's a tofu truck. It's probably something you'll only ever find in Japan.
We're having a real glasses moment right now.
Yeah, well, I wear the glasses because we're on the balcony and I want to be able to see really clear, and that's what these glasses are for. They're for seeing far, and I've noticed that I've been missing out on some things. They've been fuzzy, so now I'm going to be a dork, but I'm going to see things that are distant. The tofu dude, which is funny, Katie put this together. It is Tuesday today, and every Tuesday we hear a noise. And we're like, what is that sound? And
It happens at like 5:51.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a really
time.
bizarre time, like all the time. And I think you might be right. I think it might be the tofu guy because he's got a speaker on top of his truck. And that might be what we're hearing because this is like right outside our apartment. So I'll eat tofu, but I'm not like a tofu guy. Like I don't know much about it. And this dude is like a tofu guy.
You will eat tofu. You will basically insult tofu.
Yeah.
And you will talk about how it has no flavor, and then you will insult it some more and hope that you don't get any, and then you'll eat it if it somehow ends up on your plate.
If it's in the miso, I'll like eat a little bit of it or something, or like if it's on the teishoku or something, I'll eat it. But I'm not. I just don't. It's. I just don't care. It's really what it comes down to. But I was like, the tofu truck is interesting, and I heard the dude talking to his customers, and he's super passionate about tofu. Like he's like, oh, this one is from this area, and this one is like this, and we do this with this one, and like he's like going on and on and on. He's like really explaining to these older ladies like what's going on with this tofu. So I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, what has he got up here? Anything interesting? And he's got a bunch of different tofus, and then he's got a lot of other little oddities and stuff. And one of them is a cake. I was like, there's a cake? So I stood in line and I waited, and then I got up to the dude, and I was like, is that tofu cake? And it says Okada keiki, and I don't know what Okada is, right? So I was like, is that tofu? And he was like, yeah, it's a tofu. It's like made of a bean from Hokkaido. And he said that there is hachimitsu, there's honey and baking soda and stuff, and they make this. And he was super passionate about the cake. So I was like, all right, it's 160 yen. I'm gonna get a piece of tofu cake, and let's find out what's going on.
Behind the scenes right now is that we haven't eaten dinner, and dinner is sitting to the side.
Yeah. The reason for that being that we don't want to lose the light that looks nice right now. You want that bit? You want the nose?
Yeah, I want the nose.
All right. I'll have the other nose on the back here.
It's called the butt.
Yeah, the butt. Okay. To tofu dude, who is super passionate about tofu. It's really sweet.
It smells like angel. What's that angel cake?
Angel food cake?
Yeah.
It's made of angels?
It has a soft smell like that, like a very sweet, soft smell.
And the texture is super soft. All right.
That's moist cake.
It's really moist. It's almost like
it's got a bit of it's like cake meets corn What's the
Cornbread.
cornbread? Thank you.
You're right. It is.
It's like a really soft cornbread.
I think the cornbread is coming from the tofu because you can definitely feel the tofu-ness, the essence of the tofu in that. It is
some grits of some sort. Like it feels like little chomps of something.
It's not very sweet. I feel like it could go like if there was some.
I would get
more.
this and tell people that they're eating cornbread and see them go, it's not exactly cornbread, but I like it.
Yeah, it's the texture is amazing. The smell is amazing. I don't know if the flavor is enough. Like I want to put some ice cream on it or something like it needs something to pop.
Yeah.
And he told me that he puts some sort of cream on it sometimes when he eats it at home. So that might have been.
Was the cream the whipped cream?
I didn't. My brain did not process what kind of cream, but he said cream, and I was like, oh, okay. But I don't have any cream, so I just went in dry. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of interesting. I'm not disappointed. I think
it's okay that you went in dry because it's moist.
It is super. You could squeeze it and probably get water.
I'm gonna keep it in plans for this cake?
keep him in his container. It's dangerous. Something that I don't think happens in any country but Japan, a country I've been to before. So I'm inside of Don Quixote, which is like a Walmart that has just exploded on itself. It's very hectic in here. And you can buy basically anything, and including anything, they also sell medicine. It's just like over-the-counter stuff. I'm not sure if they sell, like, I don't think they do prescription stuff here. It's just all over the counter. So I came up into the medicine area, and it is after the time that it is supposed to be open, which is like 8 or 9 o'clock, and it's closed. I don't know why, but the interesting part about it being closed is that it's closed at all, because like we're inside of a functioning store, and they put this net up around the area that sells the over-counter drugs, and there's a sign up that says like there's no pharmacist here right now, so we can't sell anything. So like it's not like I guess CVS and stuff in the States would have a pharmacist there, but for the over-the-counter stuff you don't have to usually have a medical professional, do you? I mean, what's going on? I guess the part of it that really blows my mind is that they've just blocked it off with a net. I could easily just like reach under the net and get things, but I mean, of course, this is in Japan, nobody's going to do that. But yeah, you're inside of a functioning store, you want to go get some medicine, and boom, you can't. Don't know why. And like, yeah, there's a schedule that's like, this is supposed to be open right now, and it's totally not open. So I mean, I guess somebody could call in sick or whatever, like the pharmacist might be out for some reason, so what do? They gotta follow the rules. Alright, so I just asked the dude, like, when is this open? And he was like, it opens at 10. And I was like, okay. So I walked back over and looked at the sign. Yeah, it says 10. I'm just dumb.
Eric needs to use the restroom over here in Nihonbashi, and we just came into this shopping center that looks a little more posh than what we would normally be in, but at the front door, you can get your bunny on. There is just a big area of bunnies. I actually found some dogs in there too, just in case you're not a bunny person. You can also get a dog.
Here's a bit of a weird one. We live right along the Sumida which is the Sumida River, and it's a fairly major river that runs through Tokyo into Tokyo Bay. And the purpose of the river isn't like a recreation river. Sometimes you'll see people on jet skis, but it's kind of rare. People never swim in it. And it's usually used by, you'll see barges and stuff kind of going up back and forth. I think they're transporting trash, like in and out of places. I'm not really clear on exactly what's going on with that. And the other purpose is that there are a lot of tourist boats that go from Asakusa down to Odaiba and back and forth that are way too expensive for people to use, like commuting or whatever, like locals don't use them, but it's a cool way to see the city like via a waterway or whatever. And right along the waterway there is a really nice walking path on each side of it. So we come out here and we go for walks quite a bit. And yesterday I was out of the city, but Katie was on a walk and she messages me and she's like, yo, there's like hundreds of dead fish floating in the river right now. And my immediate reaction is just like, there's no way hundreds of dead fish in the river is a good thing. Because like that either means a fishing boat spilled them, which just means that a boat could spill anything. Like fish going back in the water wouldn't be nearly as bad as like a bunch of plastic or whatever, but like that's not a good thing. And like, is the river all of a sudden poisoned? Why are there hundreds of fish dying? Like what's going on? So when I got home that night, we got talking about it again. And she was like, I mean, there was like a lot. Like, let me try to emphasize it. She was like, there was like fish and fish and fish and fish. Like every like few feet, there was another dead fish. And we looked it up on Twitter, and there's a lot of people posting pictures and videos and stuff that they had seen of the dead fish. And I came across an NHK article, and they had written about it. And they said in that article that 3,000 fish had been confirmed dead just in that day. And the reason that they gave was a drop in the oxygen levels of the water. And so I looked into that a little bit further, and it seems like it can happen like after big rains and stuff. That can like change like the composition of the like water and what the specific fish need to live, blah blah blah. But we haven't had that happen. So I mean, I guess it's possible like a dam opened someplace or something and flooded in or something, but they didn't mention that on NHK at all. So it kind of just left like mysterious. Why did all these fish die all of a sudden? Does anybody know like what can cause oxygen levels in like a major water like passageway to just jump like that to the point where it's going to kill hundreds of fish in one shot? So I'm out for a walk today, and there's still a few dead fish floating down the river. I've seen maybe 4 or 5, and I've been keeping like a pretty good look. So they're not all completely gone. I mean, but it's possible they were like stuck on the side or got stuck on something and went out. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of sketches you out a little bit, you know? It is like, what's going on? And the Japan is not really, they're not known for like heavy pollution in that sense. Like they don't, I don't want to get into the political situation too much, but it's not like in some countries where there is not a very strong regard for things. Japan isn't just like dumping trash and chemicals and stuff into the river. It's not like known for that, not I'm aware of anyway. So hopefully it's just a fluke thing, and all our fish are okay, because I bet that was a pretty bad death. They all just sort of suffocated.
Taking out the trash tonight, and something caught my eye. Apparently, there are guns here. It has a serial number on it. It doesn't feel as heavy as other guns I've held, so I feel like it's not a real gun. I don't know, but that's in the trash tonight. If you enjoyed these pieces of Japan, make sure to hit like and leave us a comment. It helps others find our videos to enjoy. If you aren't subscribed, make sure to do that and hit the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this in the future.